Hello, everyone, and welcome to Equity Minutes. My name is Beata Dragovic. I'm the founder of Freedom Trail Financial. Today's topic is your equity compensation grants during a merger or acquisition. In the last many years, the M&A activity within the life science field have increased significantly to create strategic partnerships, but most importantly, to deliver turnkey results for patients. These activities also bringing with themselves more complex solutions as it comes to your equity compensation grants. The most frequent grants that we see out there are stock options and RSUs. Therefore, today we will focus on those, especially as these grants can be transferred in various ways during an M&A. So let's establish briefly what is an RSU and a stock option. Restricted stock units are transfer of company stock to an employee. At vesting of the stock, it is considered ordinary income. Stock options are your right to buy a specified number of shares of company stock at a fixed price within a fixed time period. And basically, this is a written offer from an employer to an employee. Before we would go into the details of vested and unvested stock options, I would like to point out and talk about your documents. I would recommend, even at the time of hire, that you understand and know your various documents. Even though it's the final M&A deal that will decide the size of your grant, it is your summary plan description and your stock grant agreements that actually detail what happens to your stock options or RSUs in time of change in control. With that said, let's start with your vested RSUs. As it comes to vested RSUs, the company in nearly all cases has to honor them. By law, the buyer takes over the contractual obligations of the company it is acquiring. They can simply terminate your vested options and you receive cash, or they can also offer you new options based on an exchange ratio that is decided by the two parties. And it is also possible that you receive the combination of these two, and also be prepared that you might have to exercise with an acceleration all of your vested options. As it comes to unvested options, it can be a little bit more of a gray area. The acquiring company can convert your options into its own unvested options, and with a new vesting schedule. It is also possible that they might not honor any of your unvested shares, and in this case, you will lose them. If you stay on as a new employee with the acquiring company, it is also very possible that you are going to receive new grants with a new vesting schedule. Restricted stock units have become very popular in the last many years, especially with mid and large size companies. They don't offer the same meaningful leverage that stock options. At the same time, restricted stock units offer you and provide a very sure way of receiving company stock, and they are also way less complex than options. Basically, restricted stock units, when they vest, as mentioned before, they transfer to an employee as a company stock, and you are paying ordinary income. It is basically the current market value of the vested shares. The new company, acquiring company, can decide to convert these into its own shares, or they can just simply purchase them from you as it comes to the vested RSUs. As for unvested RSUs, there are various factors that will affect these, such as your continuity of your employment with the new company. A lot of it is very similar then to options. There is also a possibility of an accelerated vesting, and in this case, you could receive new company stock in exchange for the RSUs that you would be losing. If they have an equity plan, which is majority of the companies do their own, it is possible that they will grant you new RSUs with a new vesting schedule. Also remember that they can simply cancel all of these unvested RSUs, or they can also purchase them from you partially or fully. It pretty much will depend on them and the deal. So As mentioned before, the most common event at time of an M&A is an acceleration of vesting of your unvested grants. And I want to just spend a second talking about that. The grant agreement should spell out the triggering events for this, and in this case, this is change in control. The agreement will also spell out whether there is a full or partial acceleration of vesting of your grants, so that's important as well. And if your company grants you ISOs, incentive stock options, it is also possible that they become non-qualified stock options. This is due to the fact that you can't exercise more than 100,000 worth of incentive stock options in one calendar year. Otherwise, they become non-qualified stock options. So based on the stock price and the size of your grant, this happens many times that you lose the tax benefits of ISOs. So as it comes to key takeaways, let's spend just a few minutes on this. Again, know your grant documents. They will tell you and detail, what will happen to your various grants. As you can see, there are very many variables here. That's the same for taxes. Just to name a few examples, if you receive cash for your RSUs, that's considered ordinary income. If you are receiving stock in exchange for your current stock, you will have to deal with long-term capital gain taxation. Or if there is a tax-free exchange, you will not have to deal with taxes till you sell your company shares. And lastly, I would like to mention again, acceleration of vesting. If you have any question in regards to this topic or any other topic, please feel free to email me, or feel free to go on our website, www.freedomtrailfinancial.com, and request an introductory conversation. See you next month.